Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TCG Worlds 2017. Now today we are going to be featuring Vikavolt Tapu BULU GX, the top 8 list from Wisconsin Regionals, another deck that really took many people by surprise. Vikavolt did have a showing at Seattle Regionals, but definitely had a lot more success in Wisconsin, and interestingly enough there's no Vikavolt GX in this list. Vikavolt, as we reviewed a couple of last week, Strong Charge allows you to power up any Pokemon you want with a Grass and or a Lightning Energy. You can spread them out however you want. And then as the main attacker of the deck we have Tapu BULU GX. Now we did go through a Tapu BULU Lurantis deck. Tapu BULU with Nature's Judgment is able to knock out pretty much any Pokemon in play currently in the metagame, especially with a Choice Band and even Professor Sycamore, and then Tapu Wilderness actually heals Tapu BULU off. Now, if you discard the energy, you can just immediately power up Tapu BULU with Vikavolt once again, so there's some pretty nice synergy there, and as long as you have the Grass energy in your hand to attach to Tapu BULU, you should be fine. We do have one Tapu Koko promo for the free retreat gust and the flying flip attack to deal just a little bit of damage to opposing Pokemon, and then we have three Tapu Lele-GXs so that we can set up, and then we have a single Drampa-GX which can help us with Disruption with Righteous Edge, can actually deal a very decent amount of damage with Berserk, and we can power it up with Vikavolt, and we even have resource use with Big Wheel GX. We will usually want to always use Tapu Wilderness GX, but I would not be surprised if Drampa's GX attack actually also gets some use. Now in terms of supporter and item cards, we have the 4-3-2 Sycamore and Lysander. You also have one Bridget, which we can search out with Tapu BULU. We have one Brock's Grid to recover discarded energies, along with an Energy Recycler. One Skyla to search out Rare Candy potentially. One Olympia as well to help with retreat costs, along with the 2 Float Zone. And interestingly enough, we have 4 Ultra Ball, 3 Via Seeker, 3 Rare Candy, and 2 Heavy Ball. Heavy Ball is not a card that has in too much play. Since it's been released, it has had some niche uses, I guess, but in this deck it can search for Tapu BULU, it can also search for Vikavolt, so it seems like a pretty good card to have. And finally we have 2 Choice Bands to increase the damage output, and 2 Field Lore to make sure that Garbodor's Carbotoxin is never an issue. So let's jump into the ladder and see how we do. Today you guys are watching this on Thursday. I really don't know what I'm playing in Mexico still at the time I am recording this. My cough is still there, hopefully it's a little bit better, and we are up against Tininchi, who is actually, or he's the Australian or Oceania champion. He defeated me in the final game, in the final round of the tournament. So based on the previous screen, it even seems like we're up against a mirror match, so this should be pretty interesting to watch, and especially against such a high caliber player such as Pedro. He's Pedro Eugenio Torres, and I'm pretty happy to be featuring him. Now we do start Grubbin, which is not ideal. I would have rather started Tapu BULU, but that's okay. And he gets the extra card. He does get to start with Tapu BULU. Now the question here is, we very likely, I definitely have to, the retreat cost is an issue. But Drampa will certainly help here. Okay, so I'm gonna Ultra Ball. I'm probably going to end up using Drampa's GX attack. Okay, I'm gonna grab Lele, and off of Lele I'm gonna grab the Bridget, which we do see is in there. And off of the Bridget, I will grab one more Grubbin and probably 2 Tapu BULUs, maybe the Tapu Koko and a Tapu BULU, but I'm just checking to make sure that the float stones are there. We actually have 2 Grass Energy prize, which is not ideal since we do focus more on Grass. than anything else. And I will play the Bridget now. Off of the Skyla, we can search for a Floatstone. I really wonder, I think I should definitely go for a second Tapu Bulu, although Tapu Koko is very tempting. Just to have that pivot. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna go for Tapu Bulu. And so yeah, it does seem like we have very, very similar decks. I hope he attacks my Grubbin with the 30 damage attack. That way I can potentially power up. And he does attach an energy, so that way I will have Berserk active. And he does have to Sycamore away a few resources, a couple of Lysander, a Floatstone, and an N. And he only uses Horn attack. Very surprising to see that. So we are going to Skyla, and I will use the GX attack. This does mean I will not be able to use Tapu Wilderness GX, which is unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. And if I can get a Vikavolt here, because the Grubbin is damaged, I would just need, I would need a Vikavolt and a Choice Band in order to knock out the Tapu Bulu, and we do have both cards in my hand right now. We have the Ultra Ball to search for the Vikavolt, and we have the VS Seeker for Skyla for Choice Band. So we could be in a really good position here to, maybe if we don't win the game, just taking a knockout on the Tapu Bulu. Pedro does play the Bridget. He recognizes the threat of the Drampa, and he's not going to be able to end my hand away, my 10 card hand, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so off of the Ultra Ball, I'm gonna discard Brox and Charjabug. I will find Vikavolt. And I think I'm going to choose to evolve Vikavolt into this guy, just to use the Rare Candy and to have less resources there. The energy for the turn I will attach to Tapu Bulu. I will also use Strong Charge, but I am running out of grass energy, so that's something I have to take into account. And now we're dealing 150 damage, and off of this Skyla, we will be able to grab the Choice Band for the one-hit KO. And unless Pedro can reply, or respond rather, with a Rare Candy Vikavolt into Tapu Bulu, it seems unlikely that he'll be able to take a knockout next turn. I mean, it's only 2 cards, so it's not that out of the question here. He does promote the Tapu Bulu immediately. And he does have the Rare Candy, so he does have the immediate response. He actually does have the immediate response. Sorry guys, my computer crashed right in the middle of the game. Well, not the computer, but the recording software, and I couldn't get it going whilst the game was still going on. So no rematch for you guys. It was a very interesting mirror. I do think Vikavolt is probably king in the mirror match, so that's something to consider. But wow, that would have been a really cool game to see. A really, really cool game to see. But anyways, it seems like we're up against Garbodor, I would think, based on the Psychic type. I was definitely impressed by Vikavolt in the previous game. Yeah, I did get to finish it. Pedro, I think, would have won. He also had internet issues. I'm pretty sure he would have won that match. But yeah, Vikavolt seems really strong, and he would have won, or he probably won, because of the Vikavolt GX. Just hitting 240 HP is so difficult, so difficult, and you have the synergy between Tapu Bulu covering for Vikavolt GX's weakness, which is namely Lycanroc, maybe Zygarde or whatever, but nobody's gonna play Zygarde, so potentially Lycanroc. So not bad, definitely not bad. And yeah, we'll get to see what happens here. Setting up the Grubbins is so key though, which might even make me consider playing 2 Bridgets. Maybe that's the right play for the deck. Now we see an ultra rare or rainbow rare Tapu Lele-GX. Looking very nice there. And yeah, we'll see what happens here. Okay, so my opponent does go to grab an N. So unfortunately no immediate Bridget, plus a Tapu Lele for later on. But I think that's okay. My opponent does the smart thing and decides to attach a basic Psychic in order to pressure my Drampa instead of attaching a TC, because I could immediately discard it. And I will still be able to use Bridget turn 1, which is pretty cool. Kind of want to use Field Blower though. I really do want to use Field Blower, simply because that makes Taurus a 3-hit KO instead of a 2-hit KO. And yeah, and I'm probably going to lose. See, the thing is, if I knew what was in my deck, if I knew what was in my deck, I could be safe knowing I discard this Tapu Bulu. Let's do it anyways, whatever. Yeah, 1 Tapu Bulu is prized, of course. Ugh. Okay, so that was a terrible move then, I reckon. I will attach the energy here. I will remove this. That's 40 damage for a card, but it's nothing too impactful. I should have discarded the Sycamore instead of the Tapu Bulu. I should have discarded the Sycamore, especially if my plan was to use Vikavolt GX since the beginning. So, oh well, live and learn, right? Live and learn. We might, like, relying on just 1 Tapu Bulu doesn't seem that great of an idea. I did think Drampa-GX might have looked out of place, but I keep using Drampa's, like both games I've used Drampa's Vikavolt GX attack to potentially set up, which is really good. I don't get any draw though. Off of the 10 cards, I do not get any draw whatsoever, which is really sad. Okay, so my opponent does end me, which makes sense. There's no reason for me not to try to 1 KO the Taurus. I don't get a good hand. I definitely don't get a good hand. And I'm going to... Well, I can either... Lele for Skyla for Rare Candy for Vikavolt. Although we do see Garb immediately getting down. And since I've now used the GX attack, yeah, Garbotoxin is going to be a big issue for us, because we've already used 1 Field Blower. So not good news for us. Definitely not good news. Okay. If he didn't find the Floatstone, we are okay. Seems like we are okay. So, because of the threat of Garbotoxin, I do have the Field Blower, and I have used Skyla. No, I haven't used Skyla. So if I go for Skyla right now, I would actually have Skyla so that I can just search for the Field Blower later on, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I wish I had Vikavolt GX though. I really wish I had Vikavolt GX. Okay, so there's a Rare Candy. We're also thinning out our deck, which is pretty good. The question, well, the issue here rather is I really I could retreat, attach an energy, and then double attach to Lele to retreat, but then that would activate Bull GX. So I think I still do this. I'm gonna use Strong Charge, and the grass will go to Bulu, and the lightning will go to Drampa. And then the other grass will go here, and now I can retreat. And I will just deal 30 damage to the Drampa. After I deal this 30 damage, all I need to do is find a Choice Band to knock out the Taurus, right? So a top deck versus Seeker, or the Sycamore, even though we're gonna lose even more energy, will help us in achieving this this role that we're looking for. What's better though, Vikavolt or Lurantis? That's the question. That's a really big question here. What is the better deck? Vikavolt or Lurantis? Like against the metagame, against the overall metagame, what is the better deck? I really don't know. I actually don't know. Okay. Okay, so my opponent literally does nothing but use Horn Attack, and I get another energy, which I really didn't want. Okay. I think I'm going to attach... no, I can't. Well, yeah, I can. I'm gonna attach an energy to the Drampa. And I hope I still have grass energy in my deck. Okay, so I find the Floatstone, which is the other thing I was looking for, I guess, simply because now, because Tapu Bulu is damaged, I can take a knockout with Drampa's Berserk. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 item cards, so I should be safe. I should be safe from a retaliating Garbodor, although there's no Garbodor at the moment for my opponent, so this Righteous Edge is a pretty clean one-hit KO. And yeah, it was either draw a Choice Band or draw a Floatstone. And I attached the energy to Drampa for that specific reason. I knew there was a chance that I could take a knockout that way, especially with like that 30 damage I placed there was super key in being able to not only conserve resources but also to make sure I got the knockout on Taurus next turn by giving me Choice Band and Floatstone as outs. Now if my opponent had found the Floatstone to shut off my abilities, then I would be in serious trouble. And maybe I should have used the other Vikavolt's ability during my turn to just have the Tapu Bulu powered up, fully powered up. Especially because I have no draw. I have no way to draw any more cards next turn, so finding a Choice Band to get a knockout on Lele is not viable. He needs a DC and a Choice Band to knock me out. But N doesn't really do much for us. If for some reason my opponent doesn't shut off my abilities this upcoming turn, I can play down Tapu Lele in order to use a Sycamore, although that will for sure power up the other Garb, so that's obviously not great. He could also have Ninja Boy into Taurus, a second Taurus potentially. So that's also an option. We'll see. But yeah, we're in a pretty ugly position at this point in time. It's just our things have so much HP and we're dealing so much damage. If we were up against a Vikavolt though, like Vikavolt GX seems like a really strong Pokemon. Just overall, the high HP, the damage it deals. It's unfortunate that it's not very good against Vespiquen. It's really unfortunate that it's not good against Vespiquen. And we will see a VS Seeker for teammates. Okay, so teammates will for sure give my opponent the Choice Band and the DC to knock out my Drampa, or the Float Stone to shut off my abilities. He can't get all 3 cards though, so either he misses the KO on the Drampa, or he gets it but he doesn't shut off my abilities just yet, and that's really important. Discarding that Tapu Bulu though was a huge mistake, a huge mistake on my part. Okay, so we see the Choice Band. We're gonna see the double colorless then for sure. And do we see the Float Stone? Doesn't look like we're going to see the Float Stone. And no, we do not actually. Okay, so that's pretty good for us. I mean, that's pretty good for us. I will promote the Tapu Bulu, and I will top deck another N. So N will definitely be the card of choice here. The issue is a follow-up. The big issue here is the follow-up for sure, because I don't have any other good attacker. Okay, let's use Strong Charge first. I'm just gonna pick the Lightning for now. I'm gonna attach it to Tapu Bulu. I do have the knockout on this Lele, and okay, right now he's only dealing 1, 2, 3, 4. He's dealing 80 damage. So I don't think I should be playing anything else at this point, any other item, because Tapu Bulu has 110 HP, so if my opponent finds Garb, Psychic, and Choice Band, he still doesn't knock out Tapu Bulu. Still doesn't knock out Tapu Bulu. Now, however, I don't have any more energy in my deck, so that's a really big issue. And I will probably just have to take a knockout on that Shaman eventually. Or with Vikavolt. I mean, I can definitely use Vikavolt as an attacker. I'm gonna have to discard all of my energy here. I mean, I do get 2 prize cards, those could definitely help me. We're looking for the energy recharge thingy that puts back 5 energy into our deck. Or a Tapu Bulu and a Sycamore are actually a pretty good deal here. Yeah, definitely a pretty good deal, especially this, well, mostly the Sycamore. Skyla, via Seeker Skyla would actually also be a really good play. Via Seeker versus Skyla would also be a really good play. My opponent has yet to play a single Floatstone, but he's already played all 4 Ultra Ball. The issues are the Floatstone though. The issues are definitely the Floatstones. So it's gonna be hard for us to close out this match. Not impossible, but with no energy acceleration on my opponent's part and not enough item cards in my discard pile, the only way he knocks us out is Garbodor, well there it is, Psychic, Choice Band, and Field Blower to remove the Floatstone. So that's 4 cards. He already played the Garbodor, he played on a Trubbish, so he needs 3 specific cards, Psychic, Choice Band, and Field Blower, and he has 3 cards in his hand. What are the odds that he has them all? Very low. Choice Band and Field Blower now, only missing those. He's only missing those now. Now I'm actually a little bit worried, except that if he does knock me out, I can simply promote Tapu Koko via Seeker for the... Wow. Okay, so I mean, because of the Hex, that's as good as a knockout. But wow. That was pretty bad. Okay, so based on what we currently have, I have 2 options. I could Lysander, yeah, I think Lysandering up the Drampa is my best play here. Because the odds of my opponent top decking in are very low. Well, he could top deck for a Seeker. Top decking and energy is much more likely, and if he knocks out the Tapu Bulu, I am still okay. and I'm 2 prize cards away, so see, I'm gonna keep the Ultra Ball. Well, actually no, I'm not gonna keep the Ultra Ball, because if he does top deck the end, I really want to get rid of all these resources. Brock's Crit is in my prize cards, and what? Oh, my last 2 prize cards. What? My last 2 prize cards are the Energy Recycler and the Brock's Grit, so I can't win. I can't win because I have no more energy. I can't win because I have no more energy. What are the odds of prizing those 2 cards? Wow. I'm gonna have to concede here. Okay. Wow. That's just amazing. That is actually amazing. How did that happen? How did that actually happen? My last 2 prize cards were the Brock's and the Energy Recycler, and we drew 4 of them. Wow, that is just amazing. That is really, really amazing. I can't believe that. Oh well. Oh well. I mean, that will happen once every, I guess, 10 games that you prize both of the cards. But prizing them both and not finding them both after taking 4 prizes, I want to say 1 in 100 games that happens when both things combine. That was rough. That was definitely very rough on PTCGO's part. And I guess I should have checked my prizes beforehand, but even if I had, what would I have been able to do differently? Like seriously, what would I have been able to do differently? I used the energy to take knockouts, I used the energy to discard. The Sycamore discarding 3 energy also hurt us pretty badly. And now we're gonna see an end by my opponents. No fan club, no no fan club, no nothing. Okay, we do see that this is Zoroark, potentially Drampa with Tapu Lele. Maybe my opponent has a dead hand and he just doesn't want to he just can't afford to to discard resources. Seems very weird for him to use Tapu Lele first before the trainer's mail to see if you found other things. And wow, we actually see this is not Zoroark Drampa, this is actually the Decidueye Zoroark, which I believe did see play in the European regional in Birmingham. So pretty interesting to see. We do get the Bridget, we do get a Grubbin. We don't, however, get any draw. So we are in top deck mode at the moment. We are definitely in top deck mode. Gonna grab 1 Tapu Bulu. I don't even get a grass to start pressuring the Tapu Lele. And oh, but I get Drampa. Oh, Drampa is such a lifesaver. Drampa is such an MVP, guys. Seriously. Drampa is being just the most awesome MVP of this series. This is the 3rd time I'm using Vikavolt GX. The 3rd time, because my hands are Tetras. Really, really cool. And now, with the Skyla and the Rare Candy and the Heavy Ball, if my opponent doesn't end me, we have the turn to Vikavolt. And he goes for a Sycamore. That's amazing. Loses a DC, loses a Revitalizer, loses a Zoroark Break, and another Sycamore. So we are in a pretty awesome position. Not gonna lie, this is a pretty cool position to be in. I actually get to take a knockout on the Lele because, wow, I get to Skyla for the Floatstone. Wow, this deck is ridiculously good. Okay. I mean, as long as you don't prize the Energy Recycler, and the procs. I mean, I'm pretty happy with how things are going. Okay, so I'm gonna strong charge both onto Tapu Bulu, and I'm going to Skyla for the float stone, which not both of them are priced. I know a Vikavolt is priced, I know something else is priced. I really should be paying more attention to the price cards, but as long as I don't bench the Tapu Bulu, my opponent is dealing 130 damage right now, so he needs Professor Kukui and Choice Band to knock me out. If he gets both of those cards, I get to keep my hand, I get to recycle the energy, I get to play down the Tapu Bulu and take a response knockout. He can't Lysander and Kukui at the same time, so Vikavolt is safe. So yeah, I feel pretty safe just going for Nature's Judgment here and discarding all the energy in order to get my price card here. Wow, pretty awesome. I got a Choice Band and a Grass to... I've already used Big Wheel though. I have to remember that. I've already used Big Wheel, so I cannot use Tapu Wilderness. My opponent does recover the Tapu Lele. No, the Zoroark break. Oh boy. My opponent is actually going to... Wait. Oh, okay. He attaches the rainbow in order to be able to copy either Tapu Wilderness with a Choice Band or Nature's Judgment, and he discards all the energy. I'm actually okay with this. I don't have N, unfortunately, because combining the next knockout with... if he finds the Decidueye though, he can definitely copy Tapu Wilderness GX and place a damage counter. No, he will still be 10 short, so he's gonna copy Nature's Judgment, which makes sense. We do see that the Decidueye does decide to place the damage on the Drampa. Anywhere else he places it on would activate Drampa's Berserk, which would be actually pretty cool for us. And he does copy Nature's Judgment, discarding the energy. This is where Tapu Koko really shines, being the free retreat pivot that it is. And then I'm going to bench the Tapu Bulu. I only have 3 energy in the discard pile. So... I mean, thankfully, I don't have to discard energy to take a knockout on the... No, I actually do. Ugh, I actually do. Yeah, that sucks. Discarding the energy really sucks. But I don't have any other choice, do I? I could be a Seeker Skyla for N for next turn. I could also try to set up a second Vikavolt. But we're fine. I don't think I need to do any of those things. I'm gonna attach the Choice Band to the Drampa. No, to the Vikavolt, because Tapu Lele could be a very easy target for us. Am I really just not gonna play a supporter card though? I mean, what could I need in the future? Skyla for Floatstone. Yeah, I'm not going to. Really sucks that I have to discard all the energy though. Really sucks. But I need to get the Zoroark pressure off my back, because if I don't, he gets to knock me out next turn, which is obviously really bad. We get the Tapu Bulu off of the price cards, that's pretty cool. My opponent does promote the Decidueye, trying to buy himself a turn. But unless he ends us, we do have the Lysander and the Grass Energy to knock out a potential Zoroark. He could also just promote Zoroark with a TCE, have the Choice Band and the Kukui. That would be pretty bad. But as I did mention, we do have the recovery Tapu Bulu, right? He actually chooses to go for not Divide GX, but whatever, Hollow Hunt GX. Okay, so seeing this, I might actually be better off. No. Actually, no. I'm better off just taking a knockout on Zorua. That's all I need to do, really. Just bench the Tapu Bulu, recycle the energy, and take a knockout on the Zorua. I get to conserve my energy, Tapu Lele is on the bench, ready to get knocked out. Yeah, that seems like the best play. And even if he ends me, like if I got greedy and knocked out Tapu Lele, yes, I'd be down to 1 prize card, but yeah, my opponent's not even finding N. He went for Sycamore, so if I get to keep everything that's in my hand, that would just be atrocious for my opponent. Okay, so I'm gonna Energy Recycle. 3 grass. Wait, it's 5? Yeah, it's 5. 3 grass and 2 lightning, so that they're evenly spread out. Off of the Ultra Ball, I'm going to get rid of 1 Lysander and the Grubbin, and I'm gonna search for the Charjabug just in case I need a second Vikavolt. And I'm not getting rid of the Sycamore simply because well, I probably should have gotten rid of the Sycamore actually. I mean, we're fine either way. We're really, really okay. 1 energy of each, both going to Tapu Bulu. And we use Nature's Judgment. This time we're not discarding, and I don't think there's any way my opponent can punish this play. So Tapu Bulu will be pretty free to just, like, we have Via Seeker for Lysander for a game onto Tapu Lele. And the Decidueye, like, if he decides to Sycamore, that's pretty okay. He might get back Tapu Lele, and nope. To search for an N, but now that he's not searching for the N and that he's used Sycamore, we know we have the knockout, the free knockouts on the Lele. We have the free knockout on the Lele. Okay. Really trying to take a knockout on the Drampa, which I totally understand, but because my opponent just never used N, we are very free to just take a knockout on the Lele. So well played to my opponent, a Pokemon trader. And yeah, we're just gonna use Nature's Judgment. We're gonna discard all of the energy, and we're gonna deal 180 damage. So the Choice Band's not even coming into play at this point. But yeah, deck's pretty good, and it's no surprise it got so far. I'm not sure what ended up beating Vikavolt in the finals, like in the top 8. But huge props for the list because it seems really, really good. And yeah, this will be all from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow for some Volcanion Turtonator action. My cough is still here, but it seems to be getting better by the day. And wish me good luck in Mexico City Regionals. Bye-bye.